Welcome to another episode of Inside Admission at Wilmington College. I'm Danny Hart, Associate Director of Admission, and joining me today is my colleague, Jenny.
Thank you. My name is Jenny Tower. I'm a Senior Admission Counselor here at Wilmington College.
And last week, we talked about paying the deposit, the importance of paying the deposit in a timely manner because of all the various steps that are going to follow that need to take place between the deposit and you actually being here on campus in the fall. And today we're going to break down some of those specific steps, the forms that need to be filled out between now and you arriving on campus. And not only are we going to talk about the forms, but we're also going to give you some tools as to how to fill out the forms, if you have questions, who to contact, and those types of things. Jenny, first and foremost, where can these students find these forms?
Good question. So for our students that have paid their deposit, they are welcome to start completing these forms for the fall semester. And those forms can be found at the WC portal. So for students that have not accessed WC portal before, if you go to our homepage, which is wilmington.edu, at the very bottom, there's all these quick links. And in those quick links, you will find a link for WC portal. This is where you want to go to complete all of these forms that Danny and I are going to talk about today.
Yes, and if you have in fact paid your deposit, well, even at the accepted status, you should have received instructions as to how to access not only the portal, but will pay, your Wilmington College email account. If you have any questions about the access and your username, password, just reach out to your admission counselor, to our admission office, and we'll be happy to walk you through that particular process. So Jenny, they're in the portal, which again, it's really important if you are at paid status that you check the portal and start this process. Jenny, what can they expect to find there?
Sure. So once you're inside of the WC portal, there's a new freshman admission tab. When you open up that tab, you're going to see all of these documents that we ask you to complete to make that transition from being a paid student to actually being an enrolled student at Wilmington College this fall. And so students can expect to find things like your major declaration. So getting a chance to finally identify this is what I'm pursuing in my academic career.
And by the way, Jenny and I both want you to know that if you don't know what you want to study, that's okay. You simply indicate that on your form. And the other thing we'd want you to know is that once you declare a major on that form, it's not going to lock you in. It's simply indicating to us what you are currently interested in, and you can have additional discussions with your academic advisor as you progress while you're here at Wilmington to change your mind if that is indeed warranted with your particular situation.
Most definitely. So in addition to that major deck, students are also going to find forms in there known as a FERPA form. So it's an opportunity for us to openly communicate with your guardians. Also forms like our summer registration forms. So choosing a date to kind of finalize that scheduled plan and start that conversation with your academic advisor. And then additionally, there's other fun forms for students to start filling out, things like your housing applications or housing exemption if you're commuting, as well as some other paperwork like our private health forms.
Yes. And as far as the summer registration events, those dates, again, are available. Maybe you're not ready to actually register or to commit to a date, but know that you will eventually be required to participate in that summer registration. And I think we're offering on campus and maybe a virtual option on those events. But at the very least, go in, check out the dates, maybe put it on your calendar, or all three of them on the calendar, and make plans to, again, participate in one of those summer registration events. Very good. Now, the other thing, Jenny, as far as you mentioned the FERPA, let's talk a little bit about exactly what that does, because I think students get a little confused. Okay, I've signed it. What does that exactly mean for me, my parents, my guardians, as far as the exchange of information?
Yes, so the FERPA form just essentially means that if a parent calls and has questions or concerns, or if we need to reach out to a member of your family or a guardian to have various discussions, whether they're really great discussions or other discussions, we want the opportunity to actually legally have those conversations with your family members.
Yes.
And so that form just allows us to know who we're allowed to contact and what kind of conversations we can have with those individuals involved.
Right, and that's a very personal decision, and it varies from student to student, from family to family, but do make sure that you include the individuals that might be affected by you signing off on that FERPA, because it's really important that anyone who has an invested interest in your education is an agreement as to how that FERPA is signed off on. Would you say that's the case?
I would agree.
Yeah, very good. All right, excellent. Now, as far as the other forms go, they really aren't prioritized. They're all important. And it's really easy to go in and just get through the ones that are easy, but they're all necessary. So make sure, again, they're going to be listed there in the portal. Make sure you walk through them and that they are all completed. Now, Jenny and I and my team, our team, will be happy to reach out to you, to remind you, and to encourage you to fill out the various forms. But hey, is that really something we want to do?
No.
Not really.
Not really,
Not
yeah.
really. We really would like for you and your family to take the initiative to make sure that those forms are indeed completed. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to us as far as gaining access to the portal. Let us help you understand what each of the forms mean if you have any questions at all. It's going to make your summer a lot more smoother. It's going to give you some time during the summer to just take a breath, look forward to college, focus on the things that are fun, like buying the things to outfit, that housing unit, talk about connecting with other students that are going to be here this fall. It's going to give you time to do that instead of focusing on the forms that have to be filled out by the time you get here this fall. Jenny, anything else you'd want to add in particular?
I just mentioned, as you kind of referred to earlier, Danny, these forms are not super complicated. They're not to make your life complicated or difficult. As Danny mentioned, it just really allows us to ensure that you're on the right path with your academic interests day one of your education.
Excellent.
And as you mentioned, it is important to fill out all of those necessary documents. We will give priority as far as registration dates to those students that complete the necessary forms first. So if you do take a look at those registration dates and there is one date in particular that you need for various reasons, whether you have family vacations planned or other activities planned on the other dates, do make sure that you are completing all of those necessary forms to ensure that you get that priority date. And then I just mentioned outside of that, to ensure that you're also checking your Wilmington College email account. As we move closer to fall, a lot of communication as it relates to your financial aid will be sent through your Wilmington College email, and that includes kind of completing some various tasks as part of that student forms document and aligned with financial aid.
Very good. And maybe you're watching this particular episode and you're thinking, oh man, I haven't paid my deposit. Is it too late? It's not too late. It is not too late to pay that deposit. If you need assistance in knowing how or where to go to pay the deposit, again, let our team know. We'll be happy to walk you through that. But no, it's not too late. Again, as we emphasized in last week's episode, the time is now really to be making that decision, making that commitment, paying the deposit because of all the things that we just talked about in regard to you taking steps to being here this fall. And another thing, Jenny and I certainly want you to know is that it's not too late to visit. Maybe you're at accepted, maybe you just are thinking about submitting an application, but you're a little unsure because you've not visited our campus. We are open for safe campus visits. Go to the website and click on the visit options that we have there available for you, and our visit coordinator will be happy to line a visit up for you, whether it's meeting with a coach or maybe even a faculty member if you'd like. You'll certainly have the opportunity to meet with an admission counselor and get a tour of our beautiful campus here at Wilmington College. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to continuing to work with you through the enrollment process here at Wilmington College. We'll see you next week.